Oh, why hello there. Welcome to the Green Jarvis Show. I'm your host, Green Jarvis. Today, we're going to be talking about the 20th Amendment. Now, you might be asking yourself, what the who in hell is a 20th Amendment? For us to understand that, we need to look at the history. Before the 20th Amendment was ratified in 1933, the newly elected president took office officially on March 4th. The problem with that, though, is that he was elected in November. This granted the former president, also known as the lame duck president, 4 extra months in office. And as we know, a lame duck can't do much.
I'm the freaking lame duck president. There's nothing I can hoot and do. I can't do anything. Nobody listens to me. Clerk Judy doesn't listen to me. There's nothing I can do. Judy, pass my legislation.
No.
This is what I have to deal with. Why not?
You don't pay me enough for this.
I pay you to do your job. Now do it.
You only got 4 months left. I really don't have to listen to you.
But then, in 1923, a senator by the name of George Norris introduced a bill what would later become the 20th Amendment.
We need an amendment. Look, it's the 20th Amendment. Behold.
The 20th Amendment was officially ratified on January 23, 1933.
Present to you the 20th Amendment. Noise.
But the 20th didn't apply to the current president-elect at the time, FDR, because the amendment was passed after what was supposed to be the official inauguration day, January 20th. So FDR was sworn into the office on March 4th, 1933. But it did apply to all the presidents after. The first section of the amendment specifically states that the newly elected president will now enter office on January 20th instead of March 4th. This is significant because it cuts the lame duck period in half. This allows the new president to enter office and take leadership of the country and get legislation passed, especially if the country is in a critical era.
Hey kids, Abe Lincoln here. Since I got into office 2 months earlier, I was able to quickly respond to the South's seceding and vastly reduce the amount of lives lost, and kept the Union preserved even better. I made America great, period.
The second part of the amendment states that Congress will now meet on January 3rd annually, instead of what it used to be, December 3rd. This is significant because on January 3rd, the new Congress will be meeting, and on December 3rd, the old Congress will be meeting. And you'll see the significance of that with the next 2 sections of the amendment.
Oh hey Phil, what are you doing here?
Oh, hey Frank, well it's December 3rd and we're Congress. We're supposed to meet up on this day.
No, after the 20th Amendment, we're supposed to meet January 3rd.
Really?
Yeah, Section 2. It's all over the newspapers.
But I mean, if that's the case, then who's that?
Let's get out of here, Phil!
Just before we go on, we'd like to introduce our musical guest for tonight, Kunta Kanta.
Imagine if Lincoln had 3 months more. There may have never been a civil war. The officials in office need more time, so the rhythm of the government can fit the country's rhyme. If it wasn't for the 20th Amendment, this country would be hell-bent. Almost as terrible as the secession. We would have still been in the Depression and the last recession. Those ask if this amendment worked. Of course it did. We haven't had a scandal like the Civil War since. Except, of course, Watergate and Tricky Dick.
For this part of the amendment, I'm going to leave it to my good friend Marco Rubio to explain it.
Let's dispel the fiction that Obama doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing, exactly what he's doing, exactly what he's doing.
Okay, that's enough. Back to me. Section 3 basically says that if the president-elect were to die, then the vice president-elect would take his position on Inauguration Day.
2 days before inauguration. I can't wait to become president.
You just got Section 3,
Oh no! Section 3 of the 20th Amendment, ratified 1933, January 23rd of the horror. Why?
I, the vice president-elect, have some big shoes to fill in now. I must become president.
But then what happens if the vice president-elect dies?
Dang penis.
The fourth part of the amendment states that if both the president and vice president-elect die or are not qualified by Inauguration Day, then the House of Representatives will have the power to choose a new president-elect, while the Senate will have the power to choose a new vice president-elect.
Both the president-elect and vice president-elect have died. As the House of Representatives, we have a duty to choose a new one. Who should we pick?
Trump.
Clinton.
Trump.
Clinton.
Hey, we're gonna make America great again, okay?
America is already huge.
You're a liar.
Guys. I have a solution.
If young Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you.
Beautiful morning, you're the sun of my morning, babe. Nothing in the water.
My friend George here. George, do you think the amendment should have been changed?
Bill, I'm gonna be frank with you. The 20th Amendment was an abomination.
Why do you say that?
It limits the president's term by 2 months. 2 months when that president could be making stuff happen.
Okay, but what you're not understanding here is that that's a lame duck president, meaning he won't be able to do anything anyways. And if you're talking about time, then eventually the president's gonna get the full term anyways. Well, kids, it's not easy to see why the 20th Amendment was so fundamental to the country. I mean, when we look at it, if we didn't have the 20th Amendment, we'd be screwed over. I mean, just look at America. It's such a great country. This amendment is such a great amendment. It made America great again. Sorry, I went on a tangent. But just to quickly sum it up, this amendment shortened the lame duck period and allowed the new president to come in and take actions quicker. It also set up hypothetical scenarios to ensure that the presidential office would always be filled. Thank you for tuning in on the Green Jarvis Show with your host, Green Jarvis. Join us next week when we talk about why Donald Trump is a stupid piece of
Why so sad? Walking around with them blue faces. She say I'm down on my luck and it's something I gotta have. Blue faces.